Hey everyone, Dr. Dan here, and welcome to Hello World with Dr. Dan. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get all of this amazing free code that you can find over on my GitHub page. How you can basically get this code up and running, so you can run all these different programs. So if you do check out my GitHub page, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, you'll find a syllabus with 8 modules in it. Each of these modules will take you to a number of in-depth lessons where you can find source code on everything from the basics, how to print out the console, conditional logic and basic math, loops through functions and storage, array lists, function, all kinds of stuff there. Object-oriented programming from the basics of class creation, as well as advanced object-oriented programming, inheritance, polymorphism, and so on and so forth. We then dive into exceptions, file input-output, memory organization, lambda expressions, basic data structures such as maps and sets and lists, linked lists, as well as the stack versus the heap, threads, GUIs, APIs, how to connect to third-party APIs like Yelp and getting that data into your programs, recursion, and then finally transitioning into C++. This code, it's insane how much code there is for you here. This will basically cover an entire year of intro programming at the college level. If you're taking an AP CS course, this code is going to be really helpful for you. You'll see that it is all very well commented. So if you are a self-learner and you just want to come here and actually study this code on your own, then you can do that. You can click on the code and you'll see the code is just commented very well. You can see all the methods are commented. And it's very clean and written well. If you are looking for a little bit more instruction, maybe you're not feeling so good about your entry into programming or Java, then I highly encourage you to check out hellodrdan.com. So all the source code on my GitHub is completely free, 100%. You can go and download it. You can run it. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. However, if you want to code alongside of me, then I encourage you to go and sign up and subscribe at hellodrdan.com. Very, very affordable. It's really designed to be a no-brainer supplement to either your AP college or AP high school course, your college course, or if you're even a professional that is looking to learn Java for a first time. You're going to basically get to walk through with me dozens and dozens of hours of video where we're basically going to go and create all this code from scratch. I do not skip steps. I am a real college professor. I have taught intro programming courses for 6 years now, which is over 15 or 16 or 17 different sections of this course. And so I know very well what people need to know and hear and see to learn how to program. I look into the eyes of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds every single day and can really follow along with what they get and what they don't get. So I incorporate all of that into my video lectures here. So I encourage you to go check out that course. You'll get a free trial to start off so you can see if it really is what you want. But let's continue. All right, so the first thing we need to do to get this code up and running, and we are here on a Mac OS, but the first thing we need to do is actually download all this code into onto our computer. Okay, so what we need to do is go ahead up here and we'll just go ahead and search. Looks like I already had something up and running on your Spotlight search, and just go ahead and search for that terminal. All right, so it's going to bring up this little program for us, and I want to see if I have Git installed. So Git is spelled G-I-T. So Git space -- version. Okay, now you'll see that it's either going to print out some kind of version for you, and if that's true, then you're probably in good shape. You can basically skip ahead a little bit after we get this installed. If you don't have it installed and this command did pop up for you, the Git command requires the command line developer tools, go ahead and click install. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel just in case for some reason it's giving you some other, hey, it's not installed, and that little pop-up didn't install. Then all you need to do is simply type in xcode -select with a space and then -- install. And that'll basically bring up that same, hey, would you like to install these command line developer tools? So at that point, go ahead and click install, and we will agree to the terms. It's going to find the software. It's going to download it. And this will take a little bit of time to download and then install. So I'll go ahead and pause the video, and when I come back, we will continue on. All right, so the software is installed. Go ahead and click the Done button. And at this point, you should be able to hit up on your keyboard a few times, and then you'll see the git space dash dash version. And now when I run it, you should see that it does have a git installed. Okay, so you can see Apple git dash 122, whatever version you have. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, and you can do this anywhere, but I'm going to go ahead and just right click on my desktop here. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to title that folder. Click here, Code Repositories. Okay, so I'm going to open up that folder, and I'm going to create two new folders. So I'll say new folder here, and this one will be called Hello Dr. Dan _ completed. Okay, and then eventually I'm gonna create one more. I'll say new folder, and this one will be called Hello Dr. Dan _ templates. Okay, so I have these two coding files, or these two folders. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to jump back into Chrome and go to the Hello World with Dr. Dan GitHub page. And you'll see at the very top, this is all my code in here, so I could dive down and see all my Java files. But you want to look for this clone or download green button on the GitHub homepage for this particular repository. So you'll click on that, and that will basically give you an address for how to get my code. Go ahead and click on that little button to copy it. Okay, and then what you want to do is in your terminal, you want to navigate perhaps to my desktop or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say CD, and then with a capital D, desktop. Okay, so if I type in LS, that stands for lists. Click OK. It's basically going to show me I have this just one folder on my desktop. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type in git space clone space. Okay, git, remember, with an I. And then go ahead and just paste that address that you had copied to your clipboard, and then hit enter. And you can see that immediately downloads this huge folder of all the code. So you have all the code right here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drag these, highlight them, and drag them into my completed code. So I'll go ahead and drag all this into my completed code. And then that way I can go ahead and delete this original folder. Okay, what you want to do from there is go ahead and open up Eclipse. So go ahead to the spotlight and open up Eclipse. And it's going to ask me if I want to open up that same workspace. So at this point I'm going to click Browse. And then I'm basically going to go to my desktop, Code Repositories, and then Hello Dr. Dan completed. And then just go ahead and click Open, and then Launch. Okay, and what we will see is not much. We're essentially going to see, it's going to come up with a new workspace. We'll hit Cancel there. By the way, if for some reason that little pop-up didn't come up to select a workspace, you can get it by going up to the Eclipse menu. I'm sorry, the file, yeah, in the Eclipse menu, go to File and then Switch Workspace. And then when you click Other, it'll bring up that menu. So then you can browse to that completed folder. Okay, so what we essentially want to do is I'm going to open up my Code Repositories folder. And we essentially want to make a new Java project for each of these modules. Okay, so I can say create a Java project. And I'm going to essentially type in module _01 _basics. Okay, and you will notice that you got it right when this little wizard down here says, hey, the project layout, there's some existing source, right? You can see if I typed in anything else, that little message goes away. But in this case, it basically recognizes, hey, there's a folder there. Let's just go ahead and try to use that to create a project. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And yep, I'm going to allow it if it asks you for that. And this will bring up all of your source code, so you can see lessons 1 through 8. So if I try, let's say, lesson 5, for instance, bring up the code there, I can play it by just clicking on the play button, and you can see it does start to run. So welcome to the simple calculator program. Please enter an equation. So 4.5 plus 4, 4.55 plus 4 equals 8.5. Okay, and this is pretty much the pattern you're going to use. You can obviously open up any of these programs and run them. So there's another one. This is a loops toy example. So 5, it's going to just print out a bunch of different loops. Obviously, you could get in here and change this code as you see fit, kind of play around with it and learn from it that way. If you want to go ahead and create another module, for instance, let's go ahead and do the next one. So new Java project. I might come over here and actually copy this time and just paste it in. Okay, and then click finish. This way I can run code in my module 2. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open up maybe lesson 8. Okay, and I'll go ahead and play this. And then you can see my cards example here. Okay, so number of players, 3. Number of cards each player receives, 4. Number of rounds, 2. Okay, so you can see all the different rounds that were, all the different hands that were dealt each round for this particular program. Okay, so you would basically keep on creating all these different modules, 3, 4, 5, and then 7. There will be special instructions for module 6 and 8 in the following 2 videos, so stay tuned for those. However, I also want to show you how to get the templates up and running. If you do want to program via hello-drdan.com, if you want to write this code from scratch and really get the in-depth tutorial and explanation of how to do all these things and all the ins and outs of programming in Java, then the next thing we want to do is actually, if I go back to my Chrome browser and I look at the GitHub repository, you'll notice there are 2 branches. Okay, so in this branch, if I go and I click on a file, let's do that loop stats example, you'll see a bunch of code in here. Okay, well, there's also a starter templates version of all this code where you can see it basically remove all the code and I leave mostly the comments. Okay, so essentially that way you can kind of get a shell, all the comments are there, the lesson objectives are there, and then you're basically going to code from scratch with me, piece at a time. So if you want to code from scratch with me, then what you'll need to do is you'll need to get all these starter templates as well. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to go back into my terminal. All right, so I'll go ahead and just clear this. And what I want to do this time is I'm still on my desktop. Okay, so if I do PWD, stands for Print Working Directory, you should see that you're on your desktop. What I want to do this time is I want to say git space clone space dash dash single dash branch space dash dash branch space starter dash templates. Okay, and don't hit enter yet. The starter templates, again, that was from this starter templates branch. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just saying, just grab the code for this one particular branch, the starter templates. And then last but not least, I do need to paste, I guess that was the wrong thing on my module there. After starter-templates, you need to paste that GitHub. Let's go back to the Hello World Dr. Dan homepage on GitHub, or my GitHub repository. And then you'll basically go to that clone or download and copy that link again. So then in my terminal, I just want to paste. All right, so git clone single branch starter templates, and then my GitHub link. So now when I hit enter, you'll see I have a new. Go ahead and close my completed. You'll see I just created a new repository there. And this time my modules as a source. If I go and open up these files, you will see, I don't know what this is going to open it in. Well, probably don't want to do that in Dreamweaver. I'll go ahead and just run this through Eclipse. Get rid of that. Okay, let's go ahead and take all these files from my Hello World Dr. Dan-Java, and I'm going to drag these into my code repositories Hello Dr. Dan templates this time. Okay, so now I can move that to the trash and close my terminal. Okay, so back in Eclipse, I'm going to go to File, Switch Workspace, Other. This time I'm going to click Browse, and I am going to, go to my desktop, Code Repositories, and this time I'm going to select Hello Dr. Dan Templates as my directory, and then go ahead and click Open and Launch. Okay, once that loads, you'll get a brand new workspace. It's going to give you all those tips and tricks. So we'll go ahead and close that. And we want to do a similar, basically the same thing. Basically want to do the same thing here where we create a new Java project and then we call them the same as the folder names here. So I'll go ahead and copy this to my clipboard and I'll paste it in the project name. So module_01_basics. You should see the existing source come up and then click finish. Once you expand these, you go into the source directory. Lesson 1, you will see is all that's in there is the program objective. So you can go ahead and run that and you'll basically get the program objective. At that point, you can basically follow along at hellodrdan.com and you'll basically get that in-depth explanation of how to program each one of these lessons all the way through Module 8. All right, so I hope to see you at hellodrdan.com, and if not, I do hope that all of the free source code that you find on the GitHub page is incredibly helpful for you. If you ever get stuck, just check out the video tutorials at hellodrdan.com. Hope to see you there.